I would like to call to order the Board of Trustee meeting for the Long Beach Community College District for September 9th, 2014. If everyone could please stand, and I'm going to ask our student trustee to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone please stand.
Everybody can please place their hand over their heart. Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary, if you could please call the roll of the Board of Trustees.
Vice President Kellogg?
I'm sorry, did you say Vice President?
I'm sorry.
You know something I don't know?
Rewind.
Okay. Madam
Pres-
Secretary, can you please call the roll?
President Kellogg.
Here.
Vice President Otto.
Here.
Member Baxter?
Here.
Member Zia?
Here.
Student Trustee Root?
Thank you. As far as reporting out on closed session, there is no items to report out at this time. Read very briefly. It has been requested that item 1.1, the trustee application for board vacancy, Area 2, be moved to the beginning of the meeting. And prior to any other business or actions on the agenda. We are also been requested to pull item 11.1, which is the ASB President Report, to also, before we begin with the 1.1, we'll ask the ASB President to speak as well. To be respectful to all individuals who will be interviewed tonight, I'm asking that we stay diligent on the time allocation for each person. The order of applicants was randomly selected and separated into two groups. The first group beginning approximately at 5:30, well, it'll begin at 5:30, and the second group beginning at, I hope, 7:30. Each applicant has been given the same 5 questions prior to this meeting. Those questions were developed by Trustee Otto and Baxter as per the direction of the board at our last meeting. Outside legal counsel has been utilized during this process to help assure that we're meeting all legal requirements and parameters, and is seated here tonight. Each applicant will be given 5 minutes to do a self-introduction, followed by 15 minutes to respond to the 5 questions they have received. Each question shall be read by a member of the board at the appropriate time, beginning on my right and working across. I will be the timer and will notify the speakers when they have 1 minute left on the self-introduction, as well as the 5 and 10 minute mark during the question period. It has been requested that everyone being interviewed wait outside the boardroom or in the room across the courtyard until your opportunity to speak, as more of a courtesy. We will have someone come and get you at the appropriate time. You are welcome to remain in the boardroom after your interview. The 3 or possibly up to 5 finalists will be announced after all the interviews have been completed and the public comment on this subject has been heard. You do not have to be present for the announcement because the finalists will be contacted as well by the Superintendent President's Office tomorrow with more information on the final interviews this Thursday. I am asking everyone in the audience to be respectful of the process and all those individuals wishing to serve Area 2 on the Long Beach City College Board of Trustees. Obviously, this is a very important interviewing process, and we appreciate everyone's cooperation. And then finally, on behalf of the board, I'd like to thank all the individuals who have applied for this position. If there are no questions, what I would like to do at this time, I'm going to ask the ASB President if she would be making her comments to the board, followed by, I'm going to then ask Eva to explain the process that we're going to be going through, and then right after that, we'll be moving into the interviews. So, ASB President, which is item 11.1, this is an information item only. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Superintendent President Oakley and Board President Kellogg and members of the board. Thank you again for giving me the opportunity to speak on the exciting things ASB and Student Life are doing for students. On September 16th, 17th, and 18th, ASB will be holding special elections in the hope of filling some vacant positions, adopting our ASB Constitution, and implementing the $2 representation fee. Today was Join a Club Day on the LAC, and tomorrow will be Join a Club Day at PCC from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's amazing to see how many students love barbecuing hot dogs. This was a great event where many of our clubs and organizations attended and participated. On September 20th, Student Life will be contributing in the California Coastal Cleanup. We invite you all to join us to clean up our beaches. And lastly, we invite the board to be a part of our 7th annual Beverly O'Neill Student Leader Conference and Morning Mentor Mixer. This annual event is scheduled for Friday, October 17th, and will run from 8:30 to 4:30 in T1200, and the Morning Mixer will run from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. This event is an opportunity for students to practice their networking skills and attend various workshops on career and leadership development. This concludes my report tonight. Thank you, board members. I look forward to a productive year as your ASB president. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The area of announcements, special people in the audience, I'll turn that to the Superintendent President Oakley.
Yes, I just want to welcome a couple of individuals who are here with us tonight. First of all, I want to thank Megan Kerr, member of the Long Beach Unified School Board, who is here with us today. Welcome, Megan. Also, our a member of the Personnel Commission, Mr. Richard Gaylord, is here. Welcome, Rich. Finally, I do want to announce a retirement and just take a moment to honor her service. I don't think she's here with us today, but Georgiana Mejia Gayton is retiring after 13 years of service in the Human Resource Office. Many of us have interacted with Georgiana over the years. She's always worn a smile and been a blessing to the Human Resource Office, so I want to congratulate her on her 13 years of service and her upcoming retirement. So if you can join me in a round of applause for Georgiana. And that's all I have.
Thank you. At this time, then, we'll move back to, if I could have, Eva, if you could please come up and explain the process we as a board are about ready to go through. I've tried to highlight how this process is going to be handled, but from the voting component. So if you could please go a brief review of what the process is going to be, not just for us, but also for the members of the audience.
Right. Yes, so each of the trustees have been provided with a ranking method sheet so that there's clarity and consistency across each of the trustees. And essentially, I'm just going to give highlights of those instructions and show the ranking sheet that each of the trustees is being supplied. So all 11 candidates will be given the same amount of time to answer the same questions. After each candidate has answered the questions, trustees will assign a rank to each of the candidates. Each trustee must rank each and every one of the candidates. And right now I'm going to show you a sample of the ranking sheet that the candidates will be using. So essentially, the way that it works, automatically the first candidate starts with a rank of 1. After the second candidate has completed responding to the questions, then the trustee goes through and basically decides, does candidate A remain as the first rank, and candidate B becomes the second rank, or it can go vice versa. After the third candidate comes forward and interviews, answers the questions, then the trustee continues this process and decides who is first, second, and third, and so on until the entire sheet is completed, so that in the end, every candidate is ranked, or every trustee provides a ranking for all of the candidates, 1 through 11, to account for each of the candidates. The final ranks will be completed here and then submitted to me, who's been designated as the person to score these. I will then collect the sheets from the trustees and go off and enter those scores into a tallying sheet, which basically just takes a rank of 1 gets assigned 1 point, 2, 3, 4 through 11 points is assigned to each of the trustees' rankings. I total the scores that are given from all of the trustees to each of the candidates, and then I will provide the lowest 5 scores that will be identified from the totals that I receive, and based on these scores, the Board of Trustees will decide on the candidates to bring forward, advance forward to the final interview. Any questions about the method? You have your blank sheets in the packets provided for you. You also have a sample of a completed sheet, which really demonstrates that every cell of the worksheet must be completed. Okay?
All right. Questions, members of the board? Chair recognizes Trustee Otto.
Just real quickly, so that people who weren't involved in the beginning of this process a couple months ago understand, we're trying to be as open, as transparent, and as fair as possible. Each of the trustees will individually rank each of the candidates individually. We won't interact with one another, and those rankings will be, at the end, we'll come up with a final ranking, and all of that information will be kept confidential until such time as the numbers are revealed and the ranking of the top 5. That's for fairness purposes. That's so that there won't be any undue influence on the part of between or among the trustees prior to the determination of who it is that will be the finalists for this process. And then the selection will be made of who the finalists will be. But that's how it was designed that way. We're not going to share any information that might influence us, except the information. But we've all done reference checks. We've all reviewed the applications. We've all done the same things, and so we're operating from the same pool of information.
Other questions, members of the board?
I have a
This is
question.
Trustee Zia.
President Kellogg, if you could explain to the public, we're going to try our best to make the best selection to our best ability, but if the public is not happy with our decision, what's the process?
If the public is not happy with our decision, so you're asking me what is their recourse?
Yes.
If somebody wants to help me on this one, my answer would be, we have an attorney sitting right here that can answer that question instead of me going, this individual will stand for election in 24 months. But
if the board makes a provisional appointment of a board member, if the public is dissatisfied with that, there's a process for the circulation of a petition, and if sufficient numbers of signatures are collected, the county superintendent will call and order a special election at the first regular election date, meaning those dates that are specified in the election code, as opposed to, for example, in the Long Beach City Charter.
and do you want to identify yourself just for the record?
I'm sorry. I'm Warren Kinsler. I'm with Atkinson, Andelson, Loya, Rudin, Romo, and we've been serving as outside counsel on this issue and a number of others.
Thank you.
And while you're up there, what do you mean sufficient number of signatures? How many is that?
I was afraid you would ask that question. The specific number is specified in the education code, and it is, I can look it up for you, but it's a relatively small number. It's based on turnout at prior elections and either a set number, like 250 or more, or a percentage of those voting in the last election for governor or something like that. But I can check those numbers for you if you'd like a more specific answer to it.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, and stay close. I'd like to also take the approach of we are going to do an outstanding job because we now have 11, and I'm glad I reminded myself, we have 11 outstanding applicants. One individual, and that is Alex Gomez, notified the college today that he is no longer a candidate. So we have reduced the number now by one, but I believe whoever is selected will do an outstanding job representing Area 2. So at this time, I've read everything as far as if the candidates would like to just relax out in the courtyard or in the room over there. That would be wonderful. And then, Madam Secretary, the first applicant is, according to what I'm seeing here, is Christian Caldera, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
If somebody could please inform the gentleman to come here, and we can begin the process. And thank you all very much for attending our meeting. I know for a fact that's not Christian, but all right, bear with me, everyone. Timer. I'm sorry, are the questions also, besides being posted on our computer screen in front of us, are they also going to be posted up here? All right, thank you. Christian, again, welcome, and you have a 5-minute, which, so you know, at the 4-minute mark, I will wave to you. I'm doing that not to break your attention, but just to let you know you have 1 more minute left. During the questions, as we ask them, I'll just notify everyone that you're at the 5, the 10, and I'll also say when you have a minute left during that whole 15-minute interview process. So I apologize, it's not very sophisticated.
No, I'll keep it really short
but
for my
it's
introduction.
I just want you to know I'm not trying to interrupt you, but it's the best we can do under the circumstances. So at this time, if you please give your name for the record, and you have 5 minutes for a self-introduction.
All right, good evening, members of the board. My name is Christian Caldera Rodriguez. I attended here at Community College from 2008 to 2012 spring. Currently, right now, I am in my last semester at Long Beach State, and I'll be getting a BA in political science. During my time at Long Beach State, I've been interning for a law firm for over about 2 years now, coming in December. The only reason why I am running for board street for district number 2 because during my time here at this community college, I observed so many things that could be improved in regards to the specifics of classified employees issues, faculty issues, and primarily the students' issues. I worked for counseling for over 3 years, outreach department, the transfer department, career center in my last semester, and a learning community called Sankofa Scholars, which doesn't exist anymore. During my time at this community college, I really didn't know who I was until I started partnering myself up with faculty members in Classified. I seen the agony that Classified have taken upon themselves as far as being moved around in different positions, the faculty morale inside the classroom, and coming at these board meetings and talking on behalf about their wages and their health care benefits being reduced. Several occasions, I came up to you guys, members of the board, and talked to you on behalf of their issues, whether it's students, classified, and faculty. And I think that's one thing that's really important in regards to my candidacy is that I always became transparent with the facts that I brought you guys up. If there was any questions that I had, I always brought it up to you guys. So I'll say that as my introduction. Trustee Kellogg.
We are going to begin with the 5 questions, and I'll begin recognizing Trustee Baxter, she will read the question, and you have on these whatever time you would like to answer. Just a total, be aware of your total
That's fine.
time. Trustee
Hi.
Baxter?
Hi, good evening, Christian. What do you see as the most important issues to be addressed district-wide in the Long Beach Community College District, and how would you approach these issues with your fellow board members?
Well, I have two things with that question. One is the fact that there's more issues than just classifying 3 issues. And then second, my answers are not going to be based upon rankings, it's just in random order. So one of the most important issues that was brought up was that President Oakley at the last Viking newspaper said the following statement, and I quote, "We are looking for someone who will represent all students, especially the underprivileged." Now, indeed, we do need to look at other community college around Long Beach City College, and we see that community college not only, well, for instance, when we look at this community college itself, we have the Promise Pathways, and then we have Puente. But one thing that I have always seen in this community college that has failed is the African American students in this college. Back in my last semester in spring 2012, it was the last semester that Sankofa Scholars was being brought up. Now, I advocated on behalf of that learning community because it was really unjust the fact that you have Puente, which is designed to help Latino students, but there was nothing on behalf of the African American students at all. Several of my friends left the learning community and transferred to Long Beach State, and that learning community benefited Reginald Benson and Tacoma Benance and went on ahead to Long Beach State. As far as helping the especially underprivileged, I think we need to address helping African American students in this college campus. For instance, when we look at other community colleges, there are learning communities that help that diverse community. And I think this city college needs to adopt something and work on this issue to help raise the level of transfer students and graduation rate of African American students. For the answer to be that, oh, we're helping African American students based upon the Promise Pathway, that's basically helping African American students by default, and we cannot accept that. The second point that I would like to talk about in the issue, and it goes right back to improvements of Promise Pathways. Now, during my last semester in spring 2012, there was this huge dilemma. We had incoming high school students that were placed in English 801A, and in their high school senior English class, they had either an A or a B in their English course, and they were pushed to English 1. Assessment scores don't really tell a lot about the student, and I think that's something that we need to look at. We can't force students to be put in English 1 when they're not ready when we look at the English assessment scores ranking it English 801A. That's really unacceptable. The second point as far as the Promise Pathways is that during my 9th grade semester, and my first class was a college prep class. And during my time, I felt that that class itself should be put on the 12th senior grade. That way, we could probably work a Counseling 1 hybrid course, and we could work inside the high schools with counseling advisors, assessment, financial aid, have orientations, and get those students right away before they come over here during the summer, when you know in the summer we're in dire need of resources as far as helping students accommodate both current students and the Promise Pathway students. Even till this day, when we see in counseling, we still have blocks of periods for Promise Pathway students. And there's still the dilemma whether or not we're serving the interests of the current students or serving the interests for the Promise Pathway students. And we need to make sure that we need to balance both resources for both parties at this institution. And then, as far as the Promise Pathways, again, prior registration at spring 2012, last semester, I brought up the issue about whether or not current students were still being bypassed. And I know Superintendent Oakley, I brought this up many occasions, as well as members of the board. And the only reason why I'm bringing up this issue is because I have a close friend who is a disabled student. And when she was trying to register for fall classes, they told her during prior registration that she has to wait the next day. That's really unacceptable. If a disabled student has the priority need to get registration classes before any other party, and when you look at who registered first in that date, Promise Pathway students. So Promise Pathway students register first before disabled students, veteran students. That's unacceptable. These are issues that I've seen when I was over here, and these are issues that I raised to the board members. Until this day, we still have the same problems, and that's something that I'm willing to work with you guys and fix this. And my third issue has to be improving faculty morale. During my time at this community college, I spent about 20 board meetings during my time over here, numerous of them. And every single board meeting, whether it was Dwayne Schaefer speaking on behalf of CCA, and even till this day, or the current CCA, Lynn Shaw, she still speaks on behalf of faculty about how bad faculty morale is. And the only way we're able to solve that problem is if this community college district is able to ask themselves whether we value in hiring the best faculty with competitive wages. As a board trustee member, we must acknowledge where student success comes from, and that comes from inside the classroom with faculty. The quality service that a school offers to its very own students beats the looks of a college campus any day. That's my answer for question number 1.
Thank you, Christian.
Question 2, Chair recognizes Trustee Otto.
Christian, question number 2 is, how does an effective board of trustees ensure opportunities for faculty, students, classified staff, community members, and other stakeholders to get their views to the board on important policies issues without seeming to be advocating for a position one way or the other?
I think one thing that I had a problem when I was a student over here was that if I needed issues to be raised to our superintendent or to the board members, I would have to come on a Tuesday at 5 o'clock to address these issues. And at Tuesday at 5 o'clock, much of the whole population at this community college is already gone. So those issues aren't really raised unless the student trustee is able to address them. And some of those issues could be really everywhere. So as far as answering that question, I believe each board member, once a semester, needs to have some sort of dialogue with the current students, with the current faculty. I'm pretty sure you guys do that, but with the students on a one-on-one, like 1 hour session, so you guys could listen to the answers and the questions that these current students have to overcome right now. It was really hard for a student to raise their issues when in fact it's a Tuesday and at 5 o'clock. It's best if board members could have once a semester listen to the students and answer the questions. That's my answer. Trustee Kellogg, I saw you had your hand raised. Do I?
No, that's, and I wanted to let you know you've gone past the 5-minute mark. I'm just
Okay,
giving you time,
that's
really
fine.
15 minutes.
Okay.
Next question, Trustee Zia.
Hi, Christian. Welcome. Identify a recent Board of Trustee decision that you feel strongly about. Describe how you would balance student needs, community, and other stakeholders' concerns, and your personal beliefs and values to determine how to vote on the issue.
Spring 2012 was a really hard semester for those who were on this college campus. The reduction of a classified was really, really hard that semester. One of the decisions was to take layoffs at the board meeting. But one thing that I did not like with the process was the fact that we had so many people come at this board meeting speaking on behalf for their jobs to keep on surviving. The vote came unanimous. But the fact that the vote came unanimous and the PowerPoint came out talking about why they voted this issue unanimous almost felt as the vote was already solved already before even the people came to the podium. And I felt that the morale, even coming at this podium, was really just whether or not it's even worth it coming over here, knowing the fact that maybe board members already have this decision already solved. So I think board members need to really look at the issue, whether or not maybe instead of just laying off classify, maybe start looking at the idea of looking at our reserves and use that branch of money in case we're at a rainy day in the future.
All right, thank you. Student trustee, if you could please read for question number 4, please.
Hello, Christian. My question is,
10 minutes, by the way.
what 2 experiences have you had in your professional or voluntary life that you believe would assist this governance team in its deliberations?
Okay, so same semester, spring 2012, Dr. Greg Peterson, I spoke to him in regards to summer and fall registration dates. They had a big problem because both registration dates were 1 week's apart. When you look at other community colleges, they always have them about months apart. And I told the students, what do you guys think about this? And they told me, this doesn't make no sense. For a student to register for classes for summer 1 week, and then the next week, they're already signing up for fall, makes you think that those classes are already going to get booked up. And I brought a petition to the Dean of Admissions and to Dr. Peterson. Dr. Peterson gave me a phone call while I was at the counseling department. And in that phone call, he told me that he was going to go ahead, solve the issue, and hear my concerns. And it was great that Dr. Peterson came to me and called me to acknowledge that the problem was going to get fixed. That same day when he called me, there was a board meeting. And I told my faculty advisor that, you know what, just Dr. Peterson calling me is not going to settle my nerves that this problem is going to get fixed. So what I did was came to the board meeting and I put Dr. Peterson on the spot, just making sure that other community members are aware of what's actually happening and board of trustees are acknowledged of what the problem is. And I think that very issue itself, that experience was really valuable because I was able to work with Dr. Peterson, the Dean of Admissions, and able to address this issue with board members who I'm not sure would have been knowledgeable about what was transpiring. And we were able to solve that issue. We were able to change the registration dates for about 2 months apart, and the students were at ease. They were really happy with that decision. I think that to me is my biggest experience with this community college is having transparency information and holding people accountable for their jobs and making sure that the students' needs are being addressed at this college campus.
All right, and you have a few minutes left, so is there anything you would like to add before we conclude the interview?
I just think during my time in this community college, I was able to gain a lot of information, and I was privileged to have the information working with counseling, working with other departments, and I thought that the information that was given to me because I was able to work in this position would have been selfish not giving this information to other students, because the information that I had was always well in advance for students to be well prepared before, because the school during the time had a bad way of informing students of issues and decisions that were taking place. So I always went beyond my needs when I was working with counseling. Numerous students always came up to me with issues that they had concerns with the board members, with one of the vice presidents, with registration day, anything. I never served a position as an ASB member during my time. I was just a regular student and a worker, or classified as a student worker. And I learned a lot of experiences during my time at this community college, and it helped my way of shape how I look at this community college. And till this day, there are issues that this community college needs to be addressed, and I'm willing to work with you guys with those issues, and I'm looking forward to helping you guys with that. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your time, community members, and that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Christian. And probably because as we randomly pick these, not a secretary to the order as we're moving forward. It's not a secret, I believe, but the next speaker will be Elaine. So, and I see her coming toward the podium. Are they aware of who the next speakers are for that?
No, Stacy Toda does have a list, but
Does have a list? So you have a list, so you know who's coming up next, so they're not being shocked. Okay.
President Kellogg, may I just ask a question about just clarifying who the ranking body is for the public?
The question of who the ranking body, who's going to be compiling?
No, who's ranking? Who's the ranking body? Is it the trustees, all of the trustees, and how many people, and student trustees vote? I don't think we said anything about that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, on the student trustee is an advisory vote only, and the 4 sitting trustees are the ones that will be voting, that will be calculated.
Okay, so it won't go into the calculation of the total ranking.
4
It's
members
just
sitting here,
advisory.
correct.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right. Elaine, just, and I apologize, I may not have repeat this, but 5 minutes introduction. I'll give you 1 minute, and I apologize, it looks like this, so I'm not trying to interrupt you. And then I'll tell you at the 5 to 10 mark and at the 14-minute mark, just so you have an idea. But I apologize, it's not exactly the most professional thing to be doing that to you, but
Thank you,
it's
Board
what we
President.
have.
That's
So,
fine.
your name for the record, and you have a 5-minute